Hi, this is Mima. Welcome to Blue Flamingo in a bathtub. What is this? Well, I'm not sure yet. I've been with the idea of making like a podcast sort of thing for a while now. My original idea was to write, write, talk about my journey as a writer because I'm one of those occasionally. I'm yet to publish anything worth noticing, but I have a bunch of ideas that I work on occasionally. The idea of my original podcast, let's call it that, was to talk about it was called Writer's Diary. It was to talk about this story I was writing at the time. I wrote the script for the first episode or chapter, whatever, talking about the story I was writing before that and why I was giving up on it and why I was writing this new story. And the idea was to then the next chapters talk about what I already done and what I was planning to do and just talking and talking because if there's something that makes me talk way too much is the stories I'm planning on writing but never do. So much that I think most of my younger siblings' childhood memories with me is me telling them about my stories. I probably traumatized them a little bit, but it is what it is. So, yeah, the thing is, it took me so long to write the script and then record, and then I deleted the recording I did, and then it just stayed in my computer for months, and then I ended up giving up on the story. Not the first one I was giving up on, the one I was gonna talk about in my podcast thingy. So, yeah, I gave up. Um, So now I don't really want. I'm still writing. There, there, there are comics that I'm working on. There are a little story I'm just writing because I don't have the confidence to actually draw it. So it's not gonna be a comic. But I'm still writing. But I don't want to talk about my writing anymore because I'm not confident in it. I don't think I'll have anything interesting to say about it. Unless you guys want to hear about all the plans I have that might never come true. But something about that doesn't sound like a good idea. Part of it is paranoia, like, oh, someone's gonna steal my story. The other part of it is just kind of afraid that my story sucks. And I don't want people to realize it sucks. So yeah. So why Blue Flamingo? So the idea of this name for this channel and stuff, just one day I was for some reason I wanted to separate my online friends from like the influencers and stuff I follow on Instagram. So I created a new account. I didn't want to use my real name, so I thought about naming it Blue Flamingo, but the name was taken. So I tried Bathtub Mermaid, was also taken. So I mixed the two names, Blue Flamingo in a bathtub. It means nothing, and it fits because this podcast is also about nothing. I'm not sure what direction I want to take with this, but I don't want it to be like something very serious, talk about serious issues in a serious manner because I think we have enough of that. At least I have enough of that. It's kind of tiresome every time I go online. Everybody's trying to sound very intellectual and knowledgeable about current events and like have strong opinions about things they're not even experiencing firsthand. So I don't want to participate in that. I'm still gonna be consuming that content because as yeah, part of me enjoys intelligent people talking in a fancy manner or not so fancy manner in some cases. But sometimes it's more comforting than listening to music and stuff. But the problem is, every time I go looking for lighthearted content, I'm always like, this is stupid. I always feel like the person is either fake or being kind of stupid. And it's also a problem when the person uses a lot of profanity and like dirty humor to make their content entertaining. That irritates me a little bit. And also another thing that irritates me in content is when the person making it is trying to cater to. Okay, I was interrupted to do something around the house. I forgot what I was talking about. So we're just gonna move on. Uh, yeah, one of my resolutions for this, like one of my rules I set up for myself, is that I'm not gonna take this too seriously. Otherwise, I'm never gonna do anything. And if I never do this, I have this idea that I have to do this. Like it's not like it's a duty of mine. It's just I really want to at least try to do this for a while. So I'm not gonna take this too seriously because when that's why I gave up on my stories, the ones I mentioned before. I was taking it too seriously. Took months planning and preparing stuff and doing like character design and set design and stuff, and I never drew anything. Just stayed on the planning phase forever. So we're not gonna do this here. I'm not gonna try to make this perfect. I'm not even gonna try to make this good. I'm just gonna do something random and put it out there. Maybe if I do this long enough, I'll do something worth hearing. So yeah, we move on with this. So I don't have a lot of notes. I didn't allow myself to write a script for this because again, if I were to write a script, it would stay in the script phase forever. So I just have 3 points. One, why am I doing this? Like, why am I recording this? Two, what I read lately and what I watched lately. What I read lately was The Three Musketeers. It had been on my future reading list since I was a child. Like when I was a kid, my parents bought a bunch of books like Mysterious Island, Little Women, The Last Mohican, Ben Hood, like books like that. And the company that printed those books had a list of all the books they had, and Three Musketeers was among them. And I was so sad that it wasn't one of the ones my parents bought because I was crazy about the movies. I don't remember the year, like in the 90s Musketeer movie, and the one with Leonardo DiCaprio, the one like the man with the iron mask, I think is the name. I love those movies. I also watched the Musketeers TV show. I really liked the first season. The second, not so much. The third, I hated it with burning passion. I don't think I finished the third season. Also, that's the other Musketeers movie with that kid from Percy Jackson. I didn't like. It's not bad, but I didn't like it that much. Oh, and there's also the cartoon with the dogs. I didn't really like it very much, but I think it's mostly because of the dub. The version that was available to me was had a really bad Portuguese dub that made the animation look even worse. It was this case for a lot of cartoons. Back then, like the dubbing made it worse in every way possible. And it was weird because Portuguese dubs aren't in the majority pretty good. Like especially Disney movies. The Portuguese versions sometimes they're better than the originals. So yeah, I read The Three Musketeers. That book is hilarious if you don't take it seriously. And it is hard to take it seriously because those guys are so goofy. They're so silly. They're like the way they're portrayed in the movies and shows, like they're very serious and stuff. But like they think they're serious, but they're not. They're idiots, all of them, especially the Turnian. But that one I knew. I think that's the most accurate part in every movie and show is that the Turnian acts like a fool. But I didn't expect Athos to be as stupid as he was. Like, not stupid. It's more like oh, we were talking about this book. I mean, in a book club, we were talking about the. We were all reading this book and talking about it, and we all agreed that Athos is the king of the ghetto. He's wretched. He's he's stupid. He's special. Like Porthos is the dumbest by far, but Athos is like, dude, you're rich. You're well connected. What are you doing this? Why are you walking? Why are you living like this? Why are you acting like this? So yeah, the Three Musketeers. I like it. I really like it, but I think by far, like from I'm not that familiar with the author's name work. I'm not gonna try with his name, but I between the Three Musketeers and the Count of Monte Cristo, the Count of Monte Cristo is by far, in my opinion, superior in every way. The writing, the characters, especially the way the female characters were presented. The Count of Monte Cristo is a lot better than the Three Musketeers. And yeah, moving on. What I watched lately. So I don't watch a lot of TV, but there's Turkish TV show that I've been watching for months. I watch like 15 minutes every week. It's called Her Side, and like it is weird. Like if that show is an accurate portrayal of how Turkish people live, I don't think I want to visit. They sound intense. But I think it's probably over dramatized for like it's TV and stuff. But those people they live very intense lives. Like they taking out guns for everything and running around being kidnapped and shooting each other. It's very over dramatic and sometimes repetitive. But I can't stop watching it because it has so many good moments. Especially to me, the best part about the show is like the emotional moments, like when a father is talking to his son, or when two friends who had a fight are making up and having an honest and heartfelt conversation. I love those moments. I think it's the best part of the show. And also the comedy. The comedy is it's not like very like on your face, haha, funny sort of comedy, but it's funny. It does what it's supposed to do, bring levity to this very dramatic story about. But basically, the story is about an old lady who was slighted in her youth and made it her whole personality. Like her whole family, her sons, her grandkids, they all got swept up in her plans for revenge. And no one really understands why she's so mad. They just know she's mad. So yeah, another thing I watched recently was My Liberation Notes, a K drama. It's more of a slice of life drama. I mostly watched it because, well, I kind of like slice of life dramas. I don't, I'm not really fond of really intense like serial killer dramas or when they're like over the top comedies. So slice of life is normally what I watch when it comes to K dramas. But there's one thing I dislike about K dramas that this one had a lot is like characters trying to be like philosophers and talking about the meaning of life and how other people are fake because they're pretending to be happy and stuff. It's like just live your life. Just want some cute moments and some walks in the countryside. Why can't you just give me what I asked for? Give me what you promised me. But yeah, it was okay, I guess, the drama. The protagonist annoyed me a little bit because most people are nice to her, were nice to her, but she would talk like she hates everyone. Even the people who loved her and treat her kindly, she had something negative to say about them. Like to me, the worst was around the end was she complaining about people leaving her, and she included her dad in it. Like her dad was there for her. Like he at the end of the drama was more emotionally available than he was her whole life. But she was talking like he betrayed her because he remarried after their mom died. And it's not like the man was went looking for a wife and completely abandoned his family. No, from what her brother said, the brother is the one who found them a stepmom. He didn't want their dad to be alone after they all moved out. So he hooked her up with another lady, and she was so nice. Their stepmom was she was so nice, but the protagonist had to be bitter about it. Like sometimes it gave the impression that she was complaining just for the sake of complaining because she had nothing else to say. And another thing that bothered me in that drama was the older sister. A lot of people complained about her. If you look for reviews of this drama, you're gonna see a lot of complaints about her. But my complaint wasn't exactly the same as other people. Like they're complaining about her personality, how she's not a likable person and stuff like that. But my problem is I liked her. I think she was adorable. But the problem was that she's like, I think 40, 41 years old, but she acts like a kid most of the story. Most of the show, she was acting like an immature 20-year-old. And it just proves my theory that K drama writers don't know how to write older women as mature and level headed. They always have to make them immature and silly and clumsy and quirky, especially if they're single. If they're single, they have to be like a whole circus act. No, maybe to justify the fact that she's still single at her age, but like, is that really necessary? Okay, make her a little weird. It's fine if she's weird, but like, it's always. This is why I avoid dramas about women above the age of 30 because it's like they don't know how to write them. They always make them extremely childish. So yeah, things I liked about the drama. I, I don't want this to be just me complaining about things I've watched. Yeah, things I liked. I really like some of the scene. Really like how slow paced it was. It was a nice thing to watch at the end of the day when you're trying to relax and stuff. Because most of the story, except for there were some parts that were really sad. There were some parts that were out of place, with like gangsters and stuff. I don't know what with those writers and gangsters, they have to include them in every single drama. If it's not gangsters, it's serial killers or like perverts. It's always one of the three: gangsters, serial killers, and perverts. But yeah. Oh, and cheaters. Yeah, there's always cheaters. Oh, and scammers. Like there's always one something. Yeah, but this one was gangsters and scammers. Yeah, so except for that, it was really laid back. And I don't know, the parts where the protagonists were commuting from work because they live really far from work. Those parts, for some reason, were my favorite of them walking to the bus station or them coming back by subway or taking a taxi home. I really liked that for some reason. I hate commuting. I always hated that part of working. I work from home now, so I don't have to do this anymore, but commuting always been my least favorite part of school and working in the office. Like if I could, like I would do anything. Like I would work overtime. I would work on weekends as long as it didn't mean I have to commute. Yeah, it was horrible. I guess it's like I don't like being on the road, and also it feels like it's a complete waste of time. So yeah, don't have much to say. So I guess it's a good part to end here. If you listen this far, thank you for your time. and see you next time, if there is a next time. Bye bye.